Welcome back to the Triple Threat Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Lucky, joined by the boy MVP. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We have all new videos every week for your viewing pleasure and daily shorts. MVP, how you doing this week?
Doing all right, man.
Doing all right.
It's very, very cold, very snowy.
It's cold in the D. We're not from the D. We're from the C, Chicago, but still it's cold. Also, guys, make sure I'm going to put the link in the description box, but I was just on the Going Ringside podcast, so that was awesome. Met with Scott Johnson over at Going Ringside in Jacksonville and talked about the Dudley Boys. We also have another video coming up where I talk about Haku with Scott Johnson, so that'll also be down there. I'll update the description box, but MVP, you weren't on those with me.
Nope.
But what'd you think of
them? Solid picks. So are we gonna get into it with this one?
Yeah, so it is a segue. I just want to know how you feel about it. But no, so I talked about tag teams. We talked about the Dudley Boys. Now we're gonna give our top five. Now mine is pretty much the same as that podcast, but I'm gonna change the order a little bit. MVP's bringing a whole new taste here. So I'm gonna let MVP go first because mine is gonna be kind of no surprise to you.
Yeah. So since I know what your list is, try to not include them, which is hard.
Yeah.
My number one would be the Usos.
I like that.
I mean, it's right. They were a part of the hottest storyline, pandemic era and after. Still kind of in the storyline, even though they separated. And they're the longest reigning tag champs in WWE history.
Yeah, no, and just the chemistry they have and the longevity, they got to be on there. Well, they got to be on there.
Chemistry and longevity, they were born with. They're twins.
That's exactly. But and I do feel like Jey Uso has become more of the star of the two. But overall, like you just can't beat a match with the Usos. The good feuds they've had, and yeah, a big part of my favorite storyline in like 12 years. But so I'm gonna do mine in order because I gave mine in like no order really with Scott Johnson. Yeah. I kind of got put on the spot because he's really good at what he does. But my number one is going to be the Hart Foundation. Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I loved when they came out. They had good feuds. They actually started as a heel tag team in one of the Survivor Series matches. They were kind of healing it up, but overall, like they were really good. Feuds with the Rockers. What is that? Anyway, there's beeping in the background. It's telling me my time is up. Anyway, so Hart Foundation for me, number one.
And Jimmy Hart as their mouthpiece.
He was when they were heels. Jimmy Hart was their mouthpiece, but he was like the mouthpiece for everybody. He came out every match.
True. But you don't have Hart Foundation without Jimmy Hart as well. So
true. Mouth of the South.
All right. So knowing what I knew on your list, I had a hard time with this, especially. Tag teams weren't exactly the hottest during our time watching wrestling.
Right.
I didn't really watch the territory days. A lot of my early stuff was Attitude Era. So my number two is the Outsiders. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Now they debut in WCW as perceived, outsiders, perceived intruders from the WWF.
Right.
And then when they couldn't, when WWF sent them a cease and desist, and they couldn't go that route anymore, they just started just to really tear it up and just come into their own. And then they're 2/3 of the original NWO, but at their core, the Outsiders, they are a tag team.
Yeah.
Um, you have Big Diesel, former WWF champion, and you have Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, uh, arguably the greatest ladder match in WrestleMania history.
Yeah.
Intercontinental champion. He could have if he stayed on the straight and narrow, could have easily been a world champion.
He
Yeah,
should have
so
been. Yeah. I really wish Razor Ramon would have had at least a brief WWF championship run, but
yeah,
it is what it. That's a good pick. I mean, Outsiders, especially the impact that. I mean, that's one of the most memorable WCW moments of all time is Scott Hall
hmm
coming out. And
yeah.
then next week, I got a big surprise for you. And I remember talking to my uncle and all that. I'm like, dude, who is the big surprise? And then I'm thinking, because I'm a kid, I'm like, big Yokozuna. Like, he's coming. Like, but yeah, no, it's Scott Hall, Kevin Nash's awesome pick. Um, my number two. So we did the Dudley Boys interview.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's why I put them so high on my list because I was thinking about all the great moments for them. Now that
hmm
I'm off that podcast and I can, catch my feelings here and think about it, they move, but not by much. But number two is going to have to be the Road Warriors. Gotta
Ooh.
be because the Road Warriors. When I started renting videos at the video store, like they were in a lot of them, and just like the way that they did promos, and they had Paul Ellerly with
Yeah.
them, and tell them about it, Hawk. Well, and like just you really
Well.
mean business. They come out with the spikes on the shoulder pads. They didn't need the disqualification finishes. They handled business. And why can't I think of it? What was the name of their finisher? The
The Doomsday
Doomsday
Device.
Device. Dude, what a great tag team finisher. That's a great
hmm
one. So yeah, Road Warriors are gonna be number two.
Oh, what a rush.
Dude, in the music too. Like, dude. But yeah, that's gonna be my number two.
Um, Now I know you, and you've had an encounter with one half of the World Warriors. A not too positive encounter
You
with
know what?
that.
For number five. I'm just kidding.
I was
I
about
forgot
to
about
say,
that.
I'm surprised you ranked them so high,
Because of Hawk.
considering.
Because of
Yeah,
Hawk.
because I
Rest in peace.
don't know if you want to go
Yeah,
into detail.
very quick detail. I go to a Comic Con, Road Warrior Animals there. I'm pumped. I'm like, oh my God, what a rush. So I go up to him, like, dude, I'm such a fan. I just want to grab a quick selfie because, he had a line. I didn't want to wait through the whole line. He was, whatever. He's like, yeah, you got to pay. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I'm joking with him. I'm like, I'll pay. Like, can I wear the shoulder pads? And he literally looks, he's like, no. I'm like, he just short answers. He's really rude. He wasn't like personable. I was over it. I was like, never mind. I'm done with it. Rikishi was a lot nicer. I got a Rikishi picture. I forgot where it is now, but I got a Rikishi picture. But yeah,
You should ask him where his brother was. Where's Johnny? All right, my number three. Um, I'll stick with the WCW theme. I'm going Harlem Heat. Now, we all know where Booker T's career ended up. 5-time WCW champion, a 6-time world heavyweight champion, all around, and commentary for NXT right now. Um, but when he debuted with his brother Stevie Ray with those flaming shirts,
oh yeah,
build out of Harlem, 110th Street with Sister Sherry.
Sister. I was just gonna say. Hopefully,
Yeah,
you mentioned Sister Sherry.
yeah. I mean, you didn't see anything like them, and I forget how many times they were WCW champs. But I don't know when I started wrestling, I totally just the colorful outfits, and you don't see any black tag teams, so I kind of gravitated toward their way because they showed elite athleticism that you only see through with tag teams. And you have Big Booker T jumping off the top rope, whether it's that Heat Seeker missile or his Harlem Hangover.
Yep.
And you have Stevie Ray with his power and his version of the pedigree, the slapjack.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
No.
then so I'm going Harlem Heat.
Didn't
Not
Colonel Robert Parker also
yes,
manage them with just a
yes,
shirt?
absolutely. You know what? Just the other day, um, another tag team, Fire and Ice. I was looking up, I was looking up Fire and Ice stuff, and I I ended up watching what Fall Brawl 97,
Yep.
um, where Fire and Ice, Big Scott Norton and Ice Dagger.
Ice Dagger.
Yeah, they had their submission match because they broke up as a tag team, and these two big. I'm way off base here, but Harlem Heat was also on that pay per view with both Sister Sherry and what's his name?
The Colonel Robert Parker.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good. No, I love the Harlem Heat too. I won't go into too much detail. You pretty much covered it, but Harlem Heat was a very good tag team in WCW and
yeah.
had a few world title runs too, tag team
Uh-huh.
championships. So you can't beat it. My number three is now going to be the D- Dudley Boys. Um, I've already went into detail about this before, but let's do it again.
Hmm.
They were amazing in ECW. They were one of the only few tag teams in ECW that wasn't like put together wrestlers. Like
Yeah.
Just Incredible and Raven as a tag team, like Sabu, Rob Van Dam. The Dudley Boys were one of a few good tag teams, and their gimmick was just so good that it carried over very easy into the WWF and WWE
Yeah.
crowds. Um, and then all the moments, power bombing anyone through a table, the crowd, like as soon as he says Devon get the tables,
Hmm.
it's a wrap. Like the crowd is so into it.
Yeah.
May Young powerbomb through the table. I mean, these are moments that like you'll never forget, and they're behind all that. Um,
Hmm.
and multiple championships through different organizations. You just can't beat it. So number three is the Dudley Boys.
Okay. Me personally, I have them ranked number one. No, I'm sticking with WCW. Uh, I'm going with the Steiners.
Okay, Steiner Line.
Yeah. They come to the ring with their University of Michigan Letterman jackets. You have Dogface Gremlin Rick Steiner with his college headgear and just barking like a dog. You have Big Scott Steiner with his flowing hair and his big muscles, and then his blonde short hair with
Yeah,
his black goatee.
yeah, one line of it. Yeah, no, I like the
Yeah,
Steiner brothers too. They
yeah,
and for Scott Steiner's size to be doing like
yeah. Oh
Frankensteiners
yeah.
and
I mean, he invented it. I mean,
yeah,
the Frankensteiner, and
it's
he'll shoot you for referring to it as a Hurricane Rana.
oh yeah, he will. Yeah, and the suplexes they were doing, like they were really good in
Yes.
the ring. They were really good. I almost had them in my top five when I did the original podcast with Going Ringside. I was like, oh, I really like the Steiners, but I just edged them all out with these. Good segue again for the second time here. My number four, Edge and Christian. Love Edge
Or
and Christian.
Adam Copeland, Christian Cage.
True. So I was watching. We always watch old stuff. I was watching Unforgiven '98,
Okay.
and it was Edge versus Christian for the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm watching,
In
and it's like
in '98.
it was in '98 or '99. It was one of the two.
Hmm.
for sure. And I
All
was
right.
like, dude, they look so young. And then you go to AEW and you're like, this is like 24 years later and they're still doing it.
Hmm.
That's crazy. But no, Edge and Christian, they started in I believe they started in the Brood together,
Yeah.
Gangrel, and then they're just really over. Edge is just one of those mysterious characters at that time. Slides in the
Hmm.
ring with his glasses, and they're
Well,
just so.
did they come through the crowd as well?
Oh yeah, they did. They did original Shield stuff. But yeah, Edge and Christian, and they were part of the most memorable tag team matches of wrestling history. The
Oh yeah.
TLC matches and
TLC.
with the Hardys and the Dudleys. I mean, you just can't beat it. Edge and Christian, number 4.
All right. Number 5 won't be a WCW team. um,
Ring of Honor. No, just kidding.
I mean, they did.
Ooh,
Um, they were there, but I'm going with their WWE stuff. Um, Formerly known as Team Angle, I'm going with the world's greatest tag team.
that's a good one.
Now you have Kurt Angle. He introduces his team, and out comes two collegiate wrestlers, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, and they can get it done in the ring.
Yeah, they can.
Totally. You have the freaky athleticism and in Shelton Benjamin, and you get that the technical prowess of Charlie Haas. Hard to beat.
Yeah.
Multiple time tag champs.
How many did they win?
Don't know off the top of my head.
Well, either way, it was multiple, so we know
It is
that.
multiple. It was multiple. Yeah.
Because we all have a time where we stopped watching wrestling a little bit,
Yeah.
and I don't know what just happened there. Started choking on something. Um, I stopped watching pretty much like when WCW got bought out. I
Hmm.
still watched for like 6 months to 8 months after that, and then after that, it was just I didn't watch anything much till WrestleMania 25. So like I kept up with it, but like World's Greatest Tag Team, I didn't get to really enjoy that because it was when I wasn't watching. So
Well, I mean, they started off as Kurt Angle's henchmen,
they
essentially.
did. I remember that, but I didn't get to watch much of that era and see how many they won in the tag team
Yeah.
championships. But they were a great tag team.
Hmm.
Um, we're on number 5 already. Was
Yeah.
that your number 5? That was
That was
wow.
my number 5.
This episode is going quick. Um, I'll just do this. Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Hardy Boys are number 5. And now, let me put a disclaimer here. I love the Hardy Boys, right? God, do I wish they would just retire because Matt
Yeah.
Hardy's body is broken.
Hmm.
He's literally broken Matt Hardy. And Jeff Hardy, you just feel nothing but pity,
Yeah.
because he can't do much anymore. And he's had so many substance abuse issues that it's just,
He keeps messing up.
yeah. And it's like, dude, like, you guys had your prime. Just go out, have one more match and be done with it, you know. But they're on the list because of their longevity.
Yeah.
Um, and also, again, part of so many memorable moments in WWF
Hmm.
history. I even like the match they did against each other when
Yeah.
WrestleMania 25, I think. That's when I
Yeah.
started watching it. But yeah, and then when Lito was with them, like they were one of the biggest tag teams back then. So they're gonna round out my top 5.
Okay.
So let us know you're watching. If you made it this far, let us know in the comments what your favorite tag teams were. If we missed any, again, we obviously know about Rock and Roll Express and all these,
Yeah.
but we just weren't alive when they were big. So, and that talks about their longevity that
Yeah.
they've been. They're still out there doing stuff like, but yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to check out all the new content we have weekly, daily shorts, and also I don't know where I'm going to put it, probably above me and above Matt, but check out the last two videos we did, the gnarliest injuries, and make sure you check out the top 5 returns. Both really good episodes. So,
Oh,
Matt,
wait, before we go, don't you have an announcement to make?
see, this is why there's two of us. If I did it by myself, I'd forget everything. I don't even have glasses on right now. I can't even see. Um, January 27th, mark your calendars. First time ever, Triple Threat Pro Wrestling will be going live to live stream the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
So, and it won't be like this. We'll be together, and it'll just be a big screen, and it'll be wonderful. So, make sure you check that out. January 27th, we will be live streaming the Royal Rumble. Matt, is there anything else?
uh, Royal Rumble, January 27th.
Check out next week's episode because we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble winner that we think is going to win. So, all right, we're out.